How can I teach writing if I don't write myself?
I was just wondering, because some people get into it because you have the power, like the cloud, like Boman Irani is a brand, and therefore we sign up. Boman Irani, it's been so cool to know that you have been spearheading script writing sessions. And my first question to you is, can you ever teach a person to write? I asked this to my professor in journalism school as well. Can you learn to write? Or isn't that just a, either you are with it or you're not with it? What do you think?
I don't agree. I think you can teach a tone deaf person music also. I'm a belief. You need not be the best musician in the world, but you can teach music. I would never put it past anyone to do anything. The moment you say you're not a born writer, don't do it, then I'm actually arguing with the very nature that did not give you the writing bug. I can't argue with that. I think that screenwriting, apart from being a creative process, is also a scientific process. Poetry, on the other hand, is expression through a string of words that you put together, and you choose the words and it becomes a beautiful, beautiful lyrical thing. That could be a little difficult. But screenwriting is a scientific process, believe it or not. There is a structure to it. There is an understanding and a timeline to it. You can teach that at least. So we learn every day. I do not deny anybody the opportunity to say that, no, you don't have it. The talent that I have may be a very less, on a less of the scale than somebody else has.
Okay.
But you can learn things.
Did you enjoy the process of teaching? And why screenwriting? Why not acting? Because the first thing that came to my mind when I read all your tweets about reaching landmarks, about say 50 sessions, I was wondering, why screenwriting? Do we need screenwriters that badly? That is where the vacuum is, and therefore screenwriting? And why not any other? Why did you choose screenwriting?
Why not acting? I think there's such wonderful actors around, and there's such, I tell you what, when I started out, I wanted to make a film. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a writer, director. And you know me, I don't believe in timelines. I believe that, you do it whenever you want, whenever you feel you're in the mood for it, just go ahead and do it. So I did write a script many years ago to make my first film. And I read it and I just realized that that script, while it has got a lot of heart, it does not have the science. It just does not have the flow that, it's going. And I decided to become a student. And I realized the power of how important screenwriting is. We have wonderful stories. But we may not necessarily have great screenplays. And I think, and that's the distinction I'm trying to make. A good story could end up in a bad screenplay.
Get it.
And we lose out on a good story because the narrative of cinema is very different from reading a book or reading a synopsis or reading a 10-pager of it. You've got to stretch it for 2 hours, right? And that takes a lot of craft.
In your case, what have you discovered about, I'm sure you have also listened into all the masterclasses. What, according to you, makes for a good screenplay?
I think theme and characters.
It's interesting that you have chosen also screenplay, because Bollywood is often criticized for not having a story. They say, if you have a star, we'll make a story out of that. And it's about getting the stars. Is that true? Or has it changed? I hope it's changed, but do you think so?
No, what are you trying to tell me? No, come on, man. In Hollywood, sometimes you have the most bizarre movies making the grade. And again, there is please. We've made some wonderful movies. Are you telling me Diwar had no story? Are you telling me Sholay didn't have a story? Hrishikesh Mukherjee didn't have a story?
Okay.
Are you telling me that even in a love story like Dilwale Dulhania has no story?
No.
Of course there are stories. Of course they're wonderful. That's why they engage you. That's why they run for years and years. Of course a star helps with his charm, his charisma or her charisma and her acting talent. But those movies have stories, and that's why they succeeded. Lagan, what an amazing film. What an amazing story. Well, we can't generalize, can we? Everywhere in the world, people are making good films and bad films. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to criticize.
These days, I don't know if you have seen these virtual online master classes with, say, Bobby Brown to learn about makeup. The world has shrunk. So now I can learn from Bobby Brown, or I can learn from Dan Brown on how to perhaps, write a novel. So these are, do you think, we are living in the best of times? I know social dilemma has kind of like ruined it for us, but I'm just asking you, do you think we live in the best of times where virtual education is at your doorstep? You can learn anywhere. You can interact with anybody.
I think these virtual classes with Bobby Brown or Dan Brown or Aaron Sorkin were always there for quite some time. I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is now we have the time. That's all.
True.
There's nothing. You could learn through books.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody stopped you from. I have got a bunch of books on acting. I got a bunch of books on. It's just that you need the time to read those books, and this is even more accessible. So it's great. But we didn't have the time. Now we have the time. Better do something. I truly believe, and don't think I'm saying something controversial. But I truly believe that just as this planet was given a breather to cleanse itself, I think this lockdown only for the fortunate who have a roof over their head and 3 square meals, it's a time to cleanse yourself too. There are some people who are struggling hard, all right? But for the ones who are sitting at home and grumbling, learn something new, man.
Yeah.
This is a time for you to say that, maybe what am I doing with my life? It gives you time to introspect. It gives you time to take stock of who you are. Saying, should I just go out there and look for a career? No, look for a craft, and the career will come running for you.
Of course.
And where people are just networking with what? I got a lovely story idea. Okay, then what? So this is the time to apply your mind to a craft that needs your time. Screenplay writing needs a lot of time.
And also screenwriting, you need to be slightly vulnerable and reckless at the same time, right? You have to keep writing like that. Isn't it? It's such a...
Very nice. You said something very nice. You've got to be vulnerable and reckless.
How do you do that?
You become, I think that's the only way to do that. Because if you're careful, then you'll make something that I've seen before. There'll be nothing unique. There'll be nothing original. If you're reckless, you're opening yourself up to a lot of criticism. But if you are reckless with science that's hardwired in your system, you might come up with something magical. If you're just going to go in and say, let me not be reckless, let me be careful, you'll make something that's boring. But if you're reckless with a knowledge of, I can do it within the parameters of, and break a few rules here, break a few rules there, you'll have something original, you'll have something unique, and you'll have a voice.
Okay.
This is the time. This is your time, actually.
Do you write often as well? What kind of like...
I write every day.
How are we looking? I know you as an actor, but writer, I'm not very sure. So I don't even... Are you a screenwriter, or are you an aspiring screenwriter?
I sit and write every single day. I write myself. I help some of my students to write. How can I teach writing if I don't write myself?
I was just wondering, because some people get into it because you have the power, like the clout. Like Boman Irani is a brand, and therefore we sign up. It could be...
Okay. No, I gotta stop you there. I'm sorry, I gotta stop you. I cannot run 150 sessions of screenwriting because I have the clout.
That's true.
And that's the worst thing to do. Why would I do 150 sessions just because I have some clout, and which I don't? Why do people come every day? Some people have attended 140 sessions. Can you imagine how many? That's semester and some. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I have to be sharp to answer any question that comes my way.
Okay.
So I can't start a class with clout.
Or with charisma. With clout or charisma won't work. It won't fly with the students. They'll call you
Not
up.
for so long. Not for so long.
So that's so.
Sorry, I had to call you out there because the thing is,
You shouldn't apologize.
Monica,
It is a question that
no,
came
it's
to me.
very important. You have to put your money where your mouth is. When you're teaching, you've got to be convincing and true to the craft. I've been studying for 8 years with the best.